Coach, let's go ahead and get started. I know you've been on the recruiting trail this past week, so hopefully your travels were enjoyable and prosperous for you and the Flash Fast family. But just some opening thoughts about the last week and how you and the team have kind of come out of a disappointing day in Detroit.
Dude, it was an excellent day to learn from, and it's been an exciting week on the road recruiting, where our program's in a position that it hasn't been since 1972, 73, 74, coming off the third straight winning season. And every single year we've been able to take positive strides forward. We established our culture in year one. We won our first bowl game in year two. We got a great opportunity to learn and to grow in year three, where we had that de facto Eastern Division Championship game against Buffalo, where we learned, and we were better because of that. In year four, where we got in that same opportunity against Miami of Ohio and won, and we got to the big stage and the ultimate goal, and we came up a little bit short, where we got to learn again. I'm proud of our guys. I'm proud of where we're at. It's been awesome to be on the road and to be in our state and to be in the areas where we have our commits and to be able to, get some kids to be in the mix that we recruited for a very long time that have a bunch of offers, a long offer list that we'll be welcoming to campus and to our community this weekend. And excited to close and finish this class the right way, and eager for the opportunity to go back and compete in a first-class bowl game out in Idaho against a really good program and a really good coach who's won numerous national championships and coach bowls. So it's a great day to be a Golden Flash. It's an even better day to be here in Kent, Ohio, and excited about where we're at and where we're going.
Well, let's open it up to questions. Let's start with the OG himself, Mr. Alan Moff.
Yeah, Coach, I don't know what's happened since Saturday. Have you had a chance to get together with everyone, or were you just pretty much taking off right after that?
No, we were here on Sunday because we knew that we were going to get an opportunity to receive some invitations to various bowl games. So we got together as a team and got a chance to check in with everyone and see how they're doing and, do what we do within our family and love and support one another, and told them about the opportunity that we get to go play in the Famous Idaho Potato Bowl. And we did all that, and we made sure our young men were good before we hit the road recruiting, and been around them, and guys are doing well.
That's going to.
Oh, lost you there, Alan.
All right. It sounded like he was going to ask how the kids have responded over the past week. I know Sunday must have been an exciting, wide mix of emotions.
Yeah, I mean, our kids are resilient, right? And the same character that they have shown all the way through the year, they continue to show, and that's why I'm so impressed and so humbled to lead them. Again, it was a disappointing day, in this arena that we chose to get into. And when the stakes are high, if you have a bad day, it's never a good day to do that. And we picked the bad day to have a bad day. But our kids own it. They always have. They know where they could have gotten better. We've seen the tape. We've grown from it, and we'll be better because of it. And we're eager to get back out on the field to start practicing and competing and preparing, to go have another opportunity to go get win number 8 here against a very, very good Wyoming team.
Alan, you got us? If so, you're back on the clock.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what happened there. I hit the wrong button. But anyway, I was just going to ask you, Coach, you might answer this already a little bit, but just the perspective aspect of it. How easy was it to kind of the day after with everybody getting together and then being able to kind of categorize things and be upbeat and about all the things you've done and that type of thing?
Yeah, I guess I kind of open this, right? I mean, the group of young men that we're humbled to lead and where we're at, and because of the work that they've done and the way that they've elevated our program, everyone holds their head high. I mean, we're very, very prideful to wear our Kent State football gear and to go out into our community. And I know our kids still feel that way. And again, not to take anything away from that day and how disappointing that was, but, in the big picture of where we started, where we're at and where we're going, I'm incredibly proud. I know our guys are incredibly proud, and I know they're eager to get back out on the field on Saturday and to start training and preparing for the next opportunity that we have.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Obviously, it would really be tough to have that be the end. How nice is it to have? Obviously, have another opportunity is huge anytime you get it, but in this situation, maybe even more so because I know that those guys don't want to go out that way.
Yeah, again, it's not the results that we were hoping for. But again, it's bigger than that. It's bigger than any one day. It's bigger than any, results as critically, big as that would have been. We get another opportunity to go compete. We get today, right? And that's the most important thing, that we get to, be a positive light, like I talk about all the time, to have good energy and to go lift and support each other up and, live our flash fast values and spread positivity and embrace and enjoy today, because that's all that we're given, right? And so I want to make the most of that. I'm going to pour into our guys. I know they're going to pour into their lives and to each other. And if we're fortunate to be woken up tomorrow morning, let's go be great and let's go do it again.
Just one quick look back at that game, and just what are kind of your thoughts when you look, what happened and everything else?
They made more plays than us. I mean, to make something really, really complex, really, really simple. They made the plays to stay on the field, so that they could extend drives. We didn't make the plays to generate the explosive plays or to continue drives that ultimately the game got to a point where it got away from us. We made too many penalties that extended those drives. And quite frankly, we didn't play well enough to win that day. We didn't play to the way that we were capable of. I didn't coach to the best of my ability, and that all falls on me. And so at the end of the day, there's a lot of different things that you could point to, but I wasn't at my best for everyone. I need to be better. And the better team that played better on that day won.
Alan, any more
have you had
questions?
much chance? I'm sorry.
No.
If you want to go to somebody else, that's fine.
All you, Alan.
I was just going to ask, have you had much chance at this point to look at Wyoming? I know obviously it's been really busy, but.
Yeah, I mean, the beauty of technology and the great job that Blake does in our video department. As soon as we found out who we were playing, we were able to upload the film onto our surfaces and things like that. So while I've been traveling and while I've been on the plane and different things like that, you get a chance to get a general feel of who you're playing. But I had a pretty good idea once we got the draw. And actually, having seen them earlier in the preparation for NIU, because they played NIU week 2. So we got a chance to see them in some crossover tape there. I mean, that you're getting a well-coached team that's really physical, that likes to use heavy people to run the ball. So in a lot of the same ways, it's going to be pretty similar to the game that we just played. They want to run the football. They're really, really well coached. They're disciplined. They fly around on defense. And they got a really good linebacker that really jumps off the tape. I think he's one of the best players in that league. So again, no matter who it was going to be, where we were going to play, you're playing a good team with talented players, because not everyone gets the opportunity or the invitation to go do this. And this matchup's no different, no exception. And, we need to handle the fun that comes with bowl season and the freedom that comes with bowl season to be rewarded, because this is a reward for the guys. But no one understand that there's a job and a game and a score that's going to be kept. And if we're going to go compete, let's go be on the right side of that thing.
Let's move things over to Jack Burney from TV2. Some questions for Coach.
Yeah, Coach, just talk about the opportunity. You mentioned this Idaho Potato Bowl. It's one of the best bowl games out there, in my opinion. Just talk about the opportunity to win your second bowl game in the last 3 years. And like you said, to have 3 winning seasons for the first time since the 1970s.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great bowl. And I guess first and foremost, the thing that was really cool on Sunday, as opposed to 2019 when we weren't quite sure, when we were kind of in that bubble of 6 and 6 of if we were going to go bowling or not, one of the feelings that was in the air on Sunday was like, yeah, we go bowling. That's what we do now. Like, that's commonplace, right? Where in the past, in 2019, that wasn't the case, because those opportunities that come so few and far between. So again, you talk about kind of these benchmarks and standards and the way that they've been risen because of the work that our kids do. This is commonplace. And for a program that we've built and we're going to continue to build and elevate, right? Like the standard and the expectation that this time of year, I'm sorry for everyone's families in Flash Fast Nation, but you got to wait till this Sunday, Championship Sunday, to know how you can make your holiday plans because of where the Golden Flashes are going to go bowling. So this is a great opportunity. The organization that runs this bowl game, learning more about it when you get these opportunities. This used to be the old Humanitarian Bowl. So it's really neat, the cause that's tied to this bowl game. One of the really cool things that we're going to get to do as soon as we step off the plane and we travel on December 17th is to take part in a Tackle Hunger event with the teams, which is going to be awesome for a great cause to be able to give back to the community in the town of Boise. So it's obviously a great game. It's a great city. It's a great opportunity, but it's an opportunity for our young men to grow. And that's really what all this is about, really the holistic approach that we want to take to help these guys be better young men that we can all be extremely proud of the way that we are when they enter into the community. This is a chance for them to get out in the Rocky Mountain region, to be in a city that, I've never been to Boise. I'm really excited about the trip and the opportunity, and to go again, have a first-class experience, for a first-class big-time program the way that we are.
You mentioned it a little bit. They played Northern Illinois. You got to see some crossover tape there. They also played Ball State, another MAC opponent. Does that help you in game prep when you've been able to see them against opponents either you've gone against or that are in your conference?
Yeah, I think it just kind of helps you have a better familiarity, right? To where when you watch some of that conference tape, you really don't know who's who in the zoo. I mean, you know who the good players are, and it jumps off the tape, right? But to have a good idea, obviously having played Northern Illinois 2 times and knowing their team really, really intimately and seeing that crossover tape. We obviously, didn't see Ball State this year, but I've seen a bunch of them in crossover tape as we've prepared for other opponents. So, yeah, it's good. But with the climate that we live in, it's pretty interesting, right? You don't know who's going to be opting out because they're going to the NFL draft. You don't know who's going to be opting out because they're going to the transfer portal. You don't know who's going to handle the 5 days and 4 nights at the bowl site the right way. So as much as we're going to pour into them and be prepared, as always with our plan to win, it's about us, and it's about us handling things the right way and pouring into our kids to the best of our ability.
Last one for me. This is just a little bit about the matchup. You mentioned they're a good running team. They have 4 running backs over 200 yards, and they're also a great defensive team. It looks like only allowing about 177 yards through the air, and they're 5th in scoring defense. Just kind of, what do you see your offense doing against a great defense like that? And obviously the run defense, like we've been talking about all year, is going to have to be big too.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of the similar themes, right? A lot of the same things that we talked about going into that championship week. First and foremost, we got to find a way to run the ball and stop the run, right? Because as we learned, if we can't get off the field and we can't limit those possessions, and one team's able to dominate the possessions or being able to stay on the field for extended periods of time, that really impacts the flow in the course of the game. And so we got to do a great job there. We know that we're going to get tested in those realms. And then again, we got to do what we do offensively, and we got to make sure that we make the plays that we're capable of making, that we've made a bunch through the time of, through the courses of people's careers since they've been here. And, again, I think whoever's the most focused, the most prepared, the most disciplined team as you go through bowl season here with, when their last game was, when our last game was, again, going through, last week of classes this week and finals and the trip and all the hoopla that goes into all this, right? Like, who can just stay focused, who has a sense of urgency day in and day out to be prepared, who can have fun when it's time to have fun, and who can do the work that winning is going to require when it's time to do that. Those are going to be the big tests and the hurdles that we need to clear, so that we can have success out there on the 21st.
Let's go over to Jimmy Oswald from the Kent Stater. Any questions for Coach?
Yeah, Coach, we just talked about the run, and then they protect their quarterback pretty well. When you're facing an offensive line like that, what do you want to see from your defensive front to, get some pressure on the quarterback and stop that run game?
Yeah, I mean, relentless pursuit, right? Great pad level. They do a great job protecting their quarterback because so much of it is predicated off of run action pass, where you got to stop the run because they're so good at it. And they make it very, very challenging because of their lookalikes, to where you don't realize that it's a pass, and you got to transition from, your run stopping mode to transition to pass rush mode. And then by then the quarterback does a really good job throwing on time and in rhythm and gets the ball out of his hands before you can get home. So our guys up front need to be disruptive. They got to win one-on-ones. They got to play with great technique and great leverage and great pad level. And then we'll have a chance.
One of their wide receivers, he's really good at averaging yards per catch. When you got a guy who can catch 20 yards on every play he's touching the ball, what do you kind of do to stop a guy like that and prevent those long plays?
Again, I mean, it's really boring, but you got to be fundamentally sound playing and play out, right? They kind of, again, their style of play, they want to run it first and then take big play action shots where that wide receiver shows up downfield. So you see guys on the tape where they kind of get lulled to sleep, where it looks like he's coming in to crack the safety because he does that play after play after play after play after play. Someone gets lazy with their eyes, they get lazy with their eyes, they get lazy with their technique, they get lazy with their fundamentals, they get lazy communicating, and all of a sudden it's crack go, and he's out of there and he's got a big play, and it's a game-changing play, right? So play in and play out, we got to be focused in the moment, and we got to do our job to the best of our ability, snap after snap after snap, no matter how boring that is. And we got to embrace being bored. So if you do those basic things at a really, really high level, rep after rep after rep, usually good things happen.
And then last one from me, you see there's a lot of emotion out on that field after a loss like that. But when you kind of, as a coach, when you see that kind of emotion in a loss, does that kind of give you hope about how invested this team is and how they're going to respond to, a challenge like that when you see how invested they are in the game and, going into another game after that?
Yeah, I mean, I'd never question how invested our kids are. We have to do incredibly hard things. We have an incredibly high standard, and they show up and they work to that level of expectation day in and day out. So, yeah, when you step into the arena and you've invested that much, obviously it's going to hurt. That's why you see, the flip side of that's also true, right? When you win those big games the way that we did against Miami of Ohio, you see the joy and the jubilation and the tears of excitement and the tears of joy for the same reasons. Right. And so we're way past that, road marker, whatever you want to call it, in our family, within our program build here, where I know our kids are committed. I know that they're invested. I know that there's a deep level of connection and trust between our guys. And I mean, shoot, that happens. And when that happens, you're there for them. You pick them up, you pat them on the back, and you say, come on, let's go. We're going to be all right. We're going to be better because of it. And it's one of those adversities. It's one of those obstacles that, you got to grow through. You'll be better because whatever happens out in this game, where there's either going to be joy and jubilation, or there's going to be a hard lesson learned, right? And that's something that they can learn now as 18 to 22-year-olds as they move forward in life. And guys, everything's not all going to be all rosy. Right? I mean, there's going to be hard days that the guys are going to have where they're going to go all in and go after something, or there's something that's really, really meaningful where they come up short, and they're going to learn a lesson that they've already learned, and they'll be able to know how to adjust and respond faster and quicker than someone else who didn't learn that lesson. And they're going to be more productive human beings, and our communities will be better because of it. Their lives will be better because of it. But I never question how invested they are. I know how special our kids are by doing all the things that we ask them to do.
Let's flip things over to the voice of the Golden Flashes, Mr. Rob Politsky. Rob, any questions for Coach?
Thanks, Coach. And I did have to step away for a few minutes. So if I ask something that's already been asked, I apologize for that. I did have to step away for a few minutes. Coach, as well as Northern ran the ball against us, and as good as Wyoming is at running, how concerned are you about that? And what do you try to do specifically to slow down their running game?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of touched on it, Rob, but I mean, Northern Illinois had a good plan. They had a good day, and obviously Wyoming's going to see that, and they're going to try and test those same things. So a lot of it where our breakdowns occurred, it was fundamental things. It was pad level. It was hand placement. It was pursuit to the ball. So we got to clean up those details. We got to clean up, those fundamentals of it all. And luckily we got a little extra time here. We got some extra practices where we'll dive into the prep starting this weekend and really refine, those techniques, those fundamentals, our eye discipline, and playing together as one, and where guys don't need to do more than their job. And if we do our job to the best of our ability, the way that we have in numerous situations throughout the course of this year, we have very good success playing against the run. When we don't do the things that we're capable of doing, we get hurt in that regard. And that's no different than any other area of our, Flash Fast family. When we do it right, it's good. When we do it wrong, it's not great. So again, I wish there's no magical pixie dust. These guys are more than capable, and we are more than capable as coaches. We got to get it corrected.
And finally, for me, Coach, since you guys did win the Frisco Bowl, and it's kind of a similar time frame, when the bowl is being played, do you go back and look at that as far as the prep you did for the Frisco Bowl and use some of that in this, or how do you go about getting ready for a bowl game, after the championship game?
Yeah, I mean, so going into it, we had a good idea of the various bowl games that we could be going to, whether we were going to win or come up a little bit short, and when those games were going to be played, whether it was, we were kind of looking at this one. There was one on the 17th and there was one on the 31st, if I'm not mistaken, that we had built out plans for. And we used some of our experience and some of our knowledge from the things that went well when we went down to Texas, and things that, again, it was our first time doing it as a family and as a program where we could get better from, right? So, we went back to those notes. We do a great job, within our staff here with everything that we do. We do an after action review where we sit down and say, okay, hey, what went good? What went bad? What can we do better? And how can we do it better? And so we have those notes and we have those experiences to fall back upon. So we leaned into that. We got a little extra time this one with it, with everything the way that it played out. But excited again about the opportunity. And I know between our administration and Jake, who handles all the logistics of it all, I know we got a great plan in place and eager to get to work on finding a way to score one more point than them.
Thanks and good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, let's go over to Tom Evans. Any questions for Coach?
Coach, just one, programs talk, other coaches have talked for years about that extra time by being in a bowl game with their kids on how that gives them a leg up on maybe some of their other competitors. You're now in year two, second time in a row doing that. How important is that for your underclassmen right now for 2 more weeks of that? And you've preached consistency all year long. How important is that for these guys to continue down that path to maybe give you a leg up on some of those other teams in the MAC East that are going to be sitting home watching on TV?
Yeah, it's huge, Tom. It's a big part of the program development, right? And having a program with sustained success to where we get to steal extra practice time. And like any skill that any of us have ever tried to learn in our life, you get good by doing it, right? And so all year long, we've had a big section of our team, a lot of the younger guys, right, that has been simulating others' teams' offenses, defenses, special teams on the scout team. And now this gives us an opportunity, to pull them up with some of these early practices and really pour into them and really be able to then sit down when we get here in January and we get rolling in phase 1 of winter conditioning to know exactly where everyone's at. We've gotten extra reps. Guys have gotten extra work that other teams don't get because of this extra opportunity. And it allows us to close the gap on some of the teams in the West and allows us to continue to distance ourselves from the teams that aren't afforded this opportunity because they didn't earn the right to play. Our kids earn the right to play. They earn the right to continue to get better. They love ball. They're eager to get back to work and excited for the opportunity.
Great stuff. I found out that when we were going that one of our former athletes was in Boise, and I called him and he had me on the phone for an hour. I had to hang up on him about how great it is that Kent State's coming out to Boise. He's a Cleveland, Ohio native, and what a great experience this is going to be. So I'm looking forward to it, Coach.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's a first-class experience, and all the interactions that we've had so far with the people out there, it's been great, and I'm really, really excited to go mix it up on some Smurf turf and play a little flash fast football on the Smurf turf out there in Boise. It's going to be a blast.
All right, guys. Well, we thank you very much. We'll do this again here, probably live in Mountain Time. So we'll see you live from that Smurf turf here in about 8 or 9 days. Coach,
Perfect.
thank
Thanks,
you as
guys.
always.
Go Flashes.